Hello student, welcome to our physics discussion, that is physics in a smart way. In my last video, we were discussing application of derivative or differentiation, and there you learn the derivative with the help of derivative, or derivative directly gives you the rate of change of a physical quantity which is dependent on another physical quantity, that is dy by dx. Y is dependent upon x. Here we go to integration and we shall see how integration can be used to our use in science, or apply the integration. And that too, the thing that we learn extra here, or the math that we learn here, the process that we cover here could not have been covered using your mathematics that we have learned at your school level. Okay. In the diagram that you can see, as usual, we have drawn our XY axis and we have drawn a curve. Usually curve is a cluster of points joined by a freehand line, and mathematically we express a curve as you learn in coordinate geometry. I'll be uploading some videos against that. Usually we express as a mathematical function that y equal to fx. Y is a function of x. If you are wondering how y equal to fx or what is y equal to fx, let us say the curve that I have drawn in red, that resembles a parabola, a specific curve, parabola. Usually its equation comes as, or any point on the parabola has its x and y, they are related as y equal to 3x square, or y equal to 2x square, or y equal to x square by 5, or in general y equal to kx square, where k can be positive, k can be negative, k can be any quantity. Here for this curve, k is positive. Okay, so this is a certain relationship of y with respect to x that we write in general in the style of mathematics, that y is fx. So once you select a certain equation or know about a curve, which we shall be discussing in coordinate geometry, then we take different value of x, correspondingly you find out the corresponding value of y and plot them close to each other, and mind it, we are drawing a curve, so the values must be close to each other, and then join them by freehand, we get a curve. Usually that is the way of a curve when you discuss it from the point of view of mathematics. Let me remove it. So, and the extra quantities or extra here is that I have selected a particular x, and for that I have selected we have selected a particular x, that is x equal to x1, and putting the value of x as x1, if the equation is given to us, we can find the suitable value of y, or maybe it may be that we select a particular point on the curve. That point must be having its suitable x and y coordinates. So this part is your x coordinate of the curve point, and this is x1. Corresponding value is y1. You need not write here. Similarly, we have gone beyond the point. we have selected another point, and that point must be having its own x and y values. So this is the x1, sorry, this is x2, or second point's x coordinate, and correspondingly that is y2. You need not write here, that will be cluttered. I am removing them. So the basic issue is here is that we see when you go from point number 1 to point number 2, the curve is going on. This is our x-axis. If you take the area that stretches in between the curve and x-axis, then the area is like this. You are able to see it. Our job here, or basically integration's job here, is to find out the area that is present here. Or maybe we try to find this area, the area that is stretching, starting from the curve and goes to y-axis. Okay, we should not go to both the areas simultaneously. That may be confusing. Initially, we are confined to finding out this area, the area that stretches between, or the extends between the portion of the curve that is from point 1 to point 2 and x-axis. As we wonder about the area, we know because this is a curve, there is no formula in our school level mathematics which can help us in finding this type of areas, because the area now is a curve bound area. Is a curve bound area. In your school level mathematics, you have taken some curve bound areas, but mostly your discussion was confined to a circle, and here it is not a circle. It is not a circle. Otherwise, or else you are confined to straight line bound areas. That topic is mensuration, rectangle, square, circle, circular sector, all those things. So these type of areas we have not encountered before, and now our job is to find the areas. You might be wondering why I am so much interested, or why you will be so much interested on the areas. No, symbolically that shows the area, but this can show, as we shall be discussing, this can show many physical quantities. This can represent many physical quantities. Okay, if you put in the suitable value of y and x, if you consider the suitable value of y and x, okay, and now at present we confine, or we concentrate only on the area aspect of the thing. So if we try to find the area that is that is present here, the process, as the integration dictates, is that you consider any point on the curve. Any point on the curve as you like, arbitrary point we say. That point must be having its own x and y. Sorry. This is the x coordinate of the point. Sorry. You just select the point arbitrarily, but that point must be within point 1 and 2. You cannot go beyond 2, you cannot go beyond 1 also. This is x. Because the function is available, when you put in the value of a, we expect we can find the value of y. So this is y and that is x. If, let us say, we increase x by a small amount, that is dx, and that is infinitely small amount, that is dx, then the point will be shifting slightly. So if you increase x by a very small amount, that is dx, I am exaggerating it, dx will not be so big, but because we got our limitation as human beings, so thereby this is dx, point is slightly shifting. This is dx. Okay. And so this is dx. We have increased x by a very small amount, that is dx. So now this point that I am marking here has got a x value that is x, and this point has got a x value that is x plus dx. If in the function formula I replace x by x plus dx, I am obviously to get a new value of y, that is y plus dy. Physically, we may say, as we move over by a very, very small distance on the curve, the first point here that I have selected arbitrarily was having an xy value, that is x and y. But the second point here is having x, that is x plus dx, and y, that is x, that is y plus dy. Okay? Because you know y depends upon x. So when x changes, y is bound to change. So for the first point x, corresponding value of y is y. For second point, that is x plus dx, we know corresponding value of y. If the functional formula is there, that will be obviously y plus dy. Now we try to dwell, we try to focus on the area that stretches here. That's a very thin band-like area. If we try to think of finding this area, your first observation will be how I am to find this area. If I suggest you take this area as a rectangle, you may be slightly hesitating. Okay, this is not a full-fledged rectangle. Maybe that has got a base, and the base is dx, but the topmost part that of the figure that deviates from the rectangle, then my suggestion will be, you think of the topmost part. You know this thickness is very, 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 very small. So if you make this and these lines to be very, very close, in fact, this is known as dx. So this portion also will be smaller. And if I do a bit of construction here, this is y, or a bit of construction here, this is y plus dy. Then the area of the rectangle will be y into dx. You may be objecting. Maybe you will be slightly confused. So where you consider the area to be y dx, we know in fact we are considering this area. Or else if somebody takes this side length, that is y plus dy, and multiplies dx, then he takes this area. That's a perfect rectangle. But if I ask you to consider y dx, that has got several advantages here. So then you say, okay, that is the area that I see here. But that is not exactly the area that was under the curve or in the strip that we have discussed. And when somebody considers y dx, he or she will be forced to neglect a certain area that is present here. Okay, I think you understand. You can neglect this area, and that express permission is given by mathematics. Okay, because here our question will be, we got no way to find the area that is present here. If somebody tries to find or go for the exact calculation, if somebody says the area equal to y dx, that is not the area which is present from this to this, but the area which is a rectangle, and thereby we make an error in calculation. That is the area of this seemingly triangular portion. That is not a triangle, that is bound by a curve. Okay, but the thing is to consider that if you try to find exactly, if you think of trying to find exactly, there is no way. So you have to stop here. But if you take y dx, that is very close to the exact area that we are considering. And again, I have to remind you, the physics is the science of, that is approximate measurement. You may not find the exact thing, but if you go for a near about thing, which is very, very close, then we must be satisfied. So somebody can write this y dx, or using that logic, we can say y dx is approximately the area that you are considering here, and the area is present here. We know our idea is not exact, but there is no exact way to find out. We have to miss something. But if you take that thing that we have missed here, we know that thing is very, 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 very small. Is very, 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 very small. If somebody considers this as a triangle, has got a height dy and the base, that is dx, and then the area will be half dx into dy, half base into altitude. You know dx and dy are elementally small quantities, are extremely small quantities. Their product will be very, 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 very small, and they can be safely neglected, as I have told you before. So the area approximately you consider, that is y dx. Similarly, we try to slice off similar areas here. We try to slice off similar areas here, here, here. All these areas are having extremely small width, here, here. Then we try to slice up the entire area into such very, very narrow bands having thicknesses that is dx, dx, dx like that, or maybe dx1, dx2 like that, and try to find those areas. They will be branded as DA1, DA2. Anything small, as you know, must be coming with a prefix that is D. So when I write DA, you should not be confused. Usually the symbol for area is A, but if I write D before that as a prefix, we know that's a very small quantities. And if you add all those areas, then total area is bound to come in. Okay? An addition of such small quantities, DA1, DA2, DA3, DA4 like that, we know that is nothing but integration. So total area can be found out by integrating of all those small areas, and our elemental small area is nothing but y dx. Of course, you must be careful. When you integrate, you should not slice of the curve from anything to anything, you know you must be bound by certain limits. You cannot go to the left of x1, go to the right of x2. So we have to put in the proper limit starting from x1 to x2, starting from x1 to your x2. So the area under a curve can be found out. Now you got hold of the formula, that is with the help of integration, that is integration y dx or integration dA with certain limit, because you will be interested in some certain areas, not the value of x from minus infinite to plus infinite, as you know. So that is the way of integration. And this area can give you many physical quantities, just like I have said. Just like I have said. As you go on in your studies, sometimes we will be replacing y by speed. And you know the usual popular symbol of speed is v. And we replace x by time. Okay, so that becomes a speed and time graph. Maybe the case is a particle is moving, and this is time axis, 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, 5 second, like that. And correspondingly, at every second marks, you got our velocity readings. So if you join them, we'll be getting a curve. So now this is not, this has become not a mathematical curve, but an issue of physics. And people say the area under velocity time graph will be giving you the distance covered. And then the area will be under that. Area will be integration. We know that is y dx, starting from x1 to x2. That will be, we know y is speed and x is our time. So now the area is transformed to a thing like this. That will be giving you distance. That will be giving you distance. How it can give you distance? It takes several seconds to clarify it or to become clear. We know as you have drawn a velocity, a speed time graph, the graph itself shows that at several time instants, our speed is different. If the speed would have been same, then the graph would have been a straight line which is parallel to time axis. Because it's a curve, so speed is changing. So when speed is changing, if I try to find the distance, I cannot apply the formula that is v into t or v into delta t. That will be seriously wrong. The people ask, what value of v you have taken? And we know within our time interval, that is t1 to t2, now x1 becomes t1 and x2 becomes t2. So what value of time, speed you have taken? So we know the speed has gone through several changes. So thereby we cannot be so bold, and that boldness will be recklessness to consider a large time interval and consider any arbitrary velocity. That won't do the job. So what to do? We, within that time interval, we take a particular time instant, extend the time instant by a small value, that is dt. And because dt is a very small time, at the start of the time instant, velocity was v. And because dt is a, let us say, dt is a very small time instant, so we cannot expect the velocity to be changing drastically. So practically, if somebody or a student assumes that velocity, it practically remains same within that time interval dt, then he or she is not doing a great error. And that permission is given to us by mathematics. So how much is the distance covered within that time interval? We can safely write that is v dt. So that distance will be a very small one, that is ds, will be equal to, that is v dt. Okay, and dividing, so that is a small distance ds, which we see can be presented by v dt. So if we divide the entire stretch or entire distance into small stretches like ds1, ds2, ds3, ds4, ds5, like that, up to the last stretch. ds1 will be the corresponding velocity into dt1, ds2 will be corresponding velocity into dt2. So adding all those adding all those ds, we know the total distance can be coming out, and that is nothing but integration of v dt. That is our basic procedure with the help of integration, and integration can give us not only the area, the idea of area. That is a base number one, but that is a start. But if you change x and y, if several physical quantities, they represent y and x, then this integration of the area will be giving you several physical quantities. I just took an example of speed and time. This graph can be a curve which shows how the current in a conductor is changing, current in a wire is changing with respect to time. And then if you try to find the area, that will be giving you the electrical charge. That integration will be giving you, that area integration will be giving you the electrical charge that is flowing within a particular time interval, that is T1 to T2. So many things can be found out using integration where this type of process are required. So thank you for your patience, for your viewership, and if you like, you can give it a like and share and subscribe my channel. Thank you again. लंबा है ना